did you realize you had power in your bungie?
Oh, listen. I was a wee little lad. Wee little thing. And primary school, we playing ring play. Listen, when I saw what you said, they are gone, and I saw this is how it's done. The Andres and me came out, and the roll began, and the oil and the waste started to flow, and there it was.
You're looking to free your mind. Sit back, relax, and unwind. Welcome to the porch. Pull up and grab a chair. We could be waiting there. Welcome to the porch. We talking about good food, the music, Bahamian culture. You better bring what you're drinking. The vibe will really catch you. How our songs came to be. Our struggle, our victory. It's all for we, so come on by the porch. If you're from our porch, come on by the porch, the porch, the porch. Exuma, come on by the porch, the porch, the porch. Andros, come on by the porch, the porch, the porch. Inagua, come on by the porch, the porch, the porch, the porch.
Today we are here on the porch with none other than Miss
Nishie L.S.
I'm gonna say but y'all didn't hear that. Listen to me sing. We are here with the president of the BRC, and for those who don't know yet, that is the Bungie Roll Convention, also known as Miss Loose Me. But today we can call her Nishie for now. For now, right? We come have a great conversation to get to know her better. So she made us teach us how to roll our bungie, and the only way you can learn how to do it is if you stick and stay. Y'all get ready, because we on the porch. So here on the porch, we love to get familiar. Maybe too familiar sometimes, but you can be the judge of that.
Okay.
So tell us, Miss Nishie L.S, what's your government name?
Oh, my government name given to me by my mother, Anishka Vanessa Lewis.
Lewis. Okay, so where the L.S come from?
Well, it's just an abbreviation of my last name. First letter, last letter. L.S.
So I hear you say at the beginning you're from Andros. That's where your navel string buried?
No, my navel string buried right here in Nassau. However, my dad's side is predominantly from South Andros.
Okay.
Mother's side from Crooked Island, between Colonel Hill and True Blue Crooked Island. So got them Fergusons, some Nottages. Yeah, that's my set.
All right, then. So when was the last time you've been on? To Crooked Island or Andros?
Andros, definitely last year I would have been there a few times for a few major events that happened there. Crooked Island, it's been a while. It's been a very long time. I think the last time I was Crooked Island, I was maybe 16, 17. So yeah, it's been some time.
When you plan on visiting the land of your mother?
Well, I can't say. I honestly cannot say, but I would love to go back because I do remember it being so beautiful there. So beautiful, so serene, peaceful, especially in the True Blue area. Oh my God. A lot of history there.
So what you're saying is we need to put Crooked Island on our islands to visit.
Indeed.
All right.
Absolutely.
All right then. So Miss Nishie, a lot of persons may have known you from your breakout hit Loose Me, but a lot of people don't know that you were here way before Loose Me.
Oh yeah.
Let's talk about where you was before that.
From the beginning?
Let's go way
from
back.
the beginning. Okay, let's see. I was at the tender age of 18.
Yeah.
I'm not disclosing my age. Don't ask.
Sing it then.
But at the tender age of 18, I used to sing gospel predominantly. Grew up in the church. And so I was a member of Charles Drake and CM8. That was a gospel group that I was a part of. And after that, I received a phone call from a very good friend of mine. She called me to tell me that Fred Ferguson was looking for some vocalists for his band. That's when he was the leader of Tingham Dem Band. And went there, auditioned, got hired on the spot, worked with him for a bit. And from Fred Ferguson, then I moved on to Iris Stone, the Spank Band. And from there, it just branched off until I became a founding member of the Rhythm Band. of the rhythm band. So I would have worked with the likes of Visage, Avant Garden, a bunch of other different bands. And then I ended up, once Ira Store would have taught me so much of what I know about the culture, especially, then I would have become a founding member of the rhythm band. This is who we are. This is what we're here to do. We're just support. And we love you guys. And from there, the pandemic came, and Nishie L.S was born. Lose me, let me go. I don't want to be inside no more. Hey, lose me, let me go. This is killing me, that's for sure. So let me out, let me out, let us out, yeah, let us out, yeah, lose me, let me go.
Like how you had to go through all that to be the amazing Nishie L.S you are today.
Yep. A lot of lessons learned along the way, I'll tell you that.
Yes. So, was it before the tender age of 18 when you realized that your voice made people not only stop and listen, but stop, listen, and pull up a chair?
Absolutely. Yeah, from I was very young. The first time I held the mic in my hand, I think I was 4 and a half. My father saw the gift in me. He's a musician as well, played numerous instruments, and he picked up on my ability at a very, very young age. So I grew up singing in church when I was a little girl. And so I knew what I was capable of, went through high school, and music was just always a part of what it was that I did.
Once you realized that you had this gift, this talent, was it scary for you to know, okay, hold on, so should I pursue this fully? What should I do with it?
Music was something that I always wanted to pursue. In fact, when I graduated high school, I wanted to study music and sound engineering. Definitely something that I was always interested in. Being in the forefront as a vocalist, that wasn't on that definitely wasn't the plan then. I didn't see myself as a frontliner because I was more of a musician. I used to play clarinet. And so I wanted to learn different instruments and study that way. But my voice was just always something I played with. It was always something I toyed with when I was young. So when I came out of school and then I went into singing professionally, I realized, okay, there's something that I could definitely pursue.
Yeah.
And so when I realized that this was something I definitely wanted to take seriously, was when I started to work with Fred Ferguson and Ira Store, because then they saw the potential in me and they helped me to see what it was that I was capable of, and they were able to pull a whole lot out of me during that time. Because when I first started, I was a timid little jazzy R&B-ish type singer, very soft spoken, all of that stuff. And so Fred loved that about me. And he honed that with me. And then working with Ira pulled that aggression out. He brought that and he converted that to what he needed that to be for the culture. You know? And that's where my love for Bahamian music actually really began.
Okay.
Yeah, I wasn't very familiar with much Bahamian music growing up because, as a teenager, we listened to a bunch of other international stuff, different genres of music. But working with Ira, he helped me take it back to the roots, and my love for it never waned. In fact, it got stronger with each year, and so now, this is what it is.
This is the culmination.
Indeed.
So tell me, going through all of that, being a background vocalist and building your way up to here, how did that help you become Nishie L.S?
I learned a whole lot along the way. You learn what to do, what not to do. You watch other people and you pay attention to what they did, the mistakes they made, and you use that and you just molded it to how it could come natural for you, to be yourself, to embrace your individuality, and to take what you've learned, not to mimic, but to make your own. You understand? So all of us could sing one song, and it could be done in many different ways because you have your way of doing it, I have my way of doing it, and you just take it and you hone it to your own style, to your own feel. Working as a background singer, I always believe that before you could lead, you need to learn to follow.
Yeah.
And so for me, being a background singer allowed me to tap into different abilities that I didn't know I had. You know, it helped me to tone my ear, and it allowed me to become more vocally intelligent because I was placed in positions that I wouldn't normally have been in had I just been in the forefront from day one. You know, so you learn to sing in different parts and learn different vocal techniques and hone your craft, hone your gift. And so as a background singer, it was an honor to be able to work with a lot of people, and the exposure that I was able to get during that time and the connections I was able to make. All of that is what contributed to the Nishie you see today, because trust me, had I had those relationships not been built over those years, I don't think I would have been as far as I am now.
So is it fair to say that it truly isn't about the destination? Because your destination is very far.
Yeah, I can tell you, I still got a little ways to go, but the journey, yeah, that's one for the books.
All right, then, Nishie, but let's get a little deeper then. Let's get a little deeper. Stepping into your power, obviously that came with a lot of persons realizing that they may have some access to you, right? And with the amazing assets you have and the amazing way you display these assets on stage, has there ever been a time when you had to remind people, hey, you can look, but please don't touch me?
Boy, there's been quite a few instances because with familiarity brings contempt. And so persons connect with you on a consistent basis, and they feel as if they're entitled to that particular access to you. And in a lot of instances, you know, I'm a pretty cool person. Surprisingly introverted, but when I'm out there, like I said, when you flip that light switch on, that hat is on. And so once that hat is on, in a lot of instances, you're someone that you're not really on a regular basis, you know, under normal circumstances. And you'll find, like, in some instances, four persons want to take a photo and they get a little touchy-feely. And then there are times when I'm just not in the mood. There are times when, you know, I had a really tough day. And so whatever energy I had left, whatever was left in that social battery was literally left on that stage.
Yes.
And so when I come on stage, let's go. You know? And so sometimes, Jesus, I just gonna teeth clean yours. You know that little space in between?
I got you.
Everything flying out that little thing. Okay. So you know, that's in a lot of instances with setting boundaries. I have to allow my humanistic side to take precedence and let my discernment decide whether to let someone in or to keep that one out. And so I trust that more than anything. That has literally saved my life in a lot of instances. And so that's a boundary. It's tricky though. It's tricky because as a public figure, people just expect you to be open and come forth, come hither all the time. And not all the time you're into that. And then you have to figure out how you're going to get this message across where you're trying to set this boundary, but without coming across as being contentious, as being quote unquote a beat. You see what I'm saying? And as a female, that's even more difficult. You understand? It's so easy for a man. And I tell people like this all the time. It's so easy for a man to just shun someone, and it's not taking that personally. But let it be a woman that does it. Yeah. You know, you're big. Who she thinks she is? Yeah, she thinks she's better than everybody else. Oh, she thinks she's reaching. You know, and so it's hard. It's hard, and sometimes you have to swallow a lot with a smile on your face to appease the masses when really all you want to do is curl up in a ball and cry. You know, and some instances and experiences I've had have been very emotional in that instance. And in being a public figure, people always want that access to you. In fact, they demand it, they expect it. And so being able to draw that line can be difficult, but it's done. It's done. You learn how to finesse it in a way in which you don't come across as being difficult to communicate with, but at the same time, persons still love and understand and respect what it is that you're trying to do and what you're trying to say and implement, you know. And then sometimes I just call security.
Hey, that's the best thing to do.
Yeah. I travel with my peoples, and so and they have learned me to the point where my team, my management, they have learned to read my face because not all the time you could say help, help, and so I'll just give them a look, or I'll just look in the distance, or they just know what to look for. Okay, that's enough, y'all. She gotta go. We gotta take her this way. We gotta, and so it saves me from having to do it.
I definitely think as a female, we all have that look when we around. Maybe a person who we really ain't trying to talk to and our friends right there, and then you could do that, that little, and then they come and scoop us up and we go. Thank God for that look we have.
Listen.
So you talked about turning on this light, and here is Nishie L.S. And then we turn off the light and it's go. So what happens when the light has to turn on, but you're feeling Nishie L.S. right now?
I just told someone this story this week. I was at a gig in, I think it was Freeport, and I had just purchased my mic. This was my baby. This was not the dream mic. I haven't gotten that one yet. But I believe so highly in investing in yourself and investing in your craft. And I invested in this microphone. Listen to me. My baby, I was used, I think it was like the first time I was able to use this girl. And I used it in Freeport. And the engineer, not the engineer, but I think it was one of his helpers. He took the mic, hooked the mic up and everything. I was already a little, I was touching myself. But then, let him do his job, let him do their thing.
Yeah.
Time for me to perform now. I walked to the foot of the stairs. They put my mic in my hand.
Yeah.
And I, 1, 2, nothing coming out. 1, 2, nothing coming out. And the mic would not work. Listen, I had to use their mic. I did not want to use their mic. Because at least 3 people of them spit up in that mic, and I was in it.
Yeah.
And so I was furious and like near tears because 1, I wanted to use my mic. That was my first time. And 2, I didn't want to use this. And then I found out that the mic was broken. The mic was broken. It got damaged. No, what happened was it's a very delicate mic. So when you twist it to take, like, to put in the batteries or take it out, it's connected to the top mechanism, so to the head of the mic. And so when I opened it to take the batteries out, everything fell out. Like the entire thing fell apart. And I was near tears. I couldn't believe it. And so that was all of this happening, and they already introduced me. Nishie L.S, everybody. The band had started playing, and I to the foot of the stairs with pieces of my mic in my hand, and I had to grab their spitty mic and go on the stairs. And by the time I got to the top of those stairs, Nishie L.S was in the building. Ouch. I heard you drive it careful. You read all the signs. And I could use a driver like you all the time. Right then I felt a big drop. Ouch. Anishka had to be left at the bottom of the stairs, and Nishie L.S had to come in. It's not easy. It's not easy. And people feel as if, oh, this is a hobby. This is something you do on the side. Oh, anybody could do this as long as you could sing. But it's not the case. That is not, this thing is so hard and it's so mentally taxing. First of all, Bahamians ain't easy to perform for.
No.
We ain't the easiest set of people to entertain. All right? And so to be on top of your game and to meet their expectation, that is stressful in itself. To have something go completely wrong or is absolute chaos moments before you're supposed to touch that stage, it is so hard to condition yourself to switch. Like you literally become someone else. I had to shut all of that off, shut all of that out. And that's mental Olympics, honey. That's mental Olympics. Flipping that switch is literally, I call us a peculiar people because we use that part of our brain that the average human being doesn't use. And I believe there's a level of crazy that comes with it. No, for real, because it's almost like a identity crisis or a little smidget of schizophrenia. No, for real.
Okay.
Because I'm like, hi everybody, how's everything? And it's literally like that. It's literally like that. And so that's the process. Like, that's what goes on in my head. And it's a bunch of SpongeBobs and Patrick's running around in there.
Yeah.
When, one area catch fire and we just running around like chicken with no head.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden, everybody just tap down and the cogs start moving and we go. Mm-hmm. And that's pretty much how it is.
That's amazing how you describe it, because now that you say it, I feel like a lot of Bahamians have to do that nowadays,
No, for real.
Hell could be breaking loose, but once you reach home, you gotta realize you got children, you have a family, you have to put on a brave face. Everything cool, everything cool, right,
everything
fine. You wanna know how certain things could work out,
exactly.
But hey, everything cool, everything all right. How was work? How was school? So the fact that you're able to juggle all this on top of being on the stage, that's crazy. Mm-hmm. That's crazy. Mm-hmm. So speaking of your amazing stage presence, so we know that you're famous for the Bungie role. Mm-hmm. I don't know if you ain't realize that, the president of the Bungie Roll Convention himself.
This the first roll call, it's time for convention. The only thing you need is some Earl in your waist. Yeah, check your WhatsApp group for the time and the place. Listen, all the gals them ready, they come from near and far. We plan to roll these bungies on boat and plane and car. We ain't missing this. First stop is Bahamian. Grab your keys, let's go down to convention. Bungie Roll Convention. We go to convention. Bungie Roll Convention. All the lights and mentions. Hey, convention. We go to convention. Bungie Roll Convention.
South. So, you said being a female, it's a bit difficult separating yourself, versus a man. A man can go on stage and he can check up himself and, cool.
Crowd goes wild.
And a female check up herself, the crowd is go wilder, but then people just be like, oh, she little slack.
Yeah.
So when they see you on a regular day, and you obviously ain't doing the famous Bungie Rolls.
Exactly.
And they see you as a professional. Mm-hmm. How is that? How do you let people know, hey, I'm not that 24/7?
Sometimes you do have to check some people. You do have to remind them that, hey, I'm in uniform. I'm not here. Not here, not today. Like, this ain't the form for that.
Time and place.
There's a time and place. And then there are some people that just have a profound respect for what it is that you do. And it's most of the time, I would say about 90 to 95% of the time is positive energy. Not too much judgment. I mean, you got your little haters here and there or whatever, but I mean, it's not much to talk about. And, whatever, how much energy you put into something is what you get back. And so I don't focus so much on the negative. I pay attention more to the positive aspect of it. And I'm most of the time humbled. A lot of times it's actually kind of cringy for me. Because, like, I'll be walking in the building and somebody will just shout out from a direction, Nishie L.S. And I'm like, shut up.
Now, hold on, man. That was me, girl. That was me.
Okay, say like if I in the government uniform. Not if I in my own clothes and we just happen to box somewhere. But like if I need to work, don't do that. Not here. But it happens. Yeah. It happens. I'll be like, hi, Miss Lou Speak. Hi.
Hello, Miss Lewis. How are you, officer?
Yeah.
All is well? Can you keep it pushing? I know for next time.
But no, it's fine. Listen. It's cringy, but I love it. Like, okay, it's almost like I know I have an amazing voice, but I hate to hear the sound of it. And so I love the fact that people know who I am, acknowledge what it is that I do, respect and love what it is that I do, because that's why I do it. I do it because I love it, and I get them to also show an appreciation for what I find passionate. Mm-hmm. And so it's humbling, and I'm grateful for it. But at the same time, I'm like, and I think that's just the introverted side of me, where although I'm in the spotlight, I'm not a fan of it.
I'm sorry. So tell me, how do you balance being Anishka versus being Nishie L.S?
I can tell you there's absolutely no balance. There's no balance. It's what you can handle, what can be tolerated at that time, in that moment. So it's not even so much taking things one day at a time. It's taking things one moment at a time.
Wow. Okay.
It's literally at one moment at a time. Because there's so many hats. Mm-hmm. There's a lot of hats that you wear. Government worker, mother, entertainer, all of that different stuff. Mm-hmm. And so, based on the demand within that moment, determines which hat I put on at the time. Sometimes I gotta wear both, more than one hat at one time. And so to say be able to balance it, that's not life. That's not reality. If you want to be, realistic about it, that's not reality.
Does it? I'm sorry.
No, go ahead.
Does it ever feel taxing on you to realize that? So I mean, we already admit who has the perfect balance, but when you realize, man, getting a little out of control. When does it show up physically? Maybe that, hey.
Oh, well, child, if you've been following what's been going on with me for the past year, you could pretty much see it can take a toll on you. For me, when it got to that point, it would have literally been me neglecting myself. And that is something that I'm tapping into now, whereas I'm focusing more on my personal health and paying attention more to my body signs, signals, warnings, because your girl getting a little older now. So things we used to, you could fall down and bounce right back up and everything fine. That's not the case no more. You gotta hold on, make sure I ain't break nothing. You gotta get up a little slower now, and so you gotta take it easy and pay attention more to yourself. And so it's exhausting. It's exhausting, and I'm always tired. I'm not tired. I'm tired. I'm tired. Oh yeah. Oh, 'cause I'm tired. I'm tired. Yeah. But you're not gonna see that, and they're not gonna see that.
We don't see it,
and so, and that's all a part of it. When you put that hat on, when you flip that light switch, and this is what people get because this is what people expect. And for me, I'm the kind of person, I don't know if it was the way I was raised, but meeting demand, there was no excuse for not meeting demand. You have to be on point at all times. You have to be on top of things at all times. And yes, it's mentally taxing, it's physically taxing. But you get it done. And then you sit back and you reflect on the day and you realize, okay, I should have done more, or I didn't do enough, or I didn't focus on this more, or today was a good day. And then there's some days don't talk to me. And so, it gets like that. I'm human.
Yes.
And a lot of times people look at you from the outside, and in a lot of instances, they don't see the humanistic side. They just see the lights and the glamour and the music and the drama and all of that stuff. And so sometimes they tend to forget that I could break down too. I could crash and burn too. I could crash out too. And so when they see these things, it's like, ooh, but.
So, and like you said, when you was growing up, demand, you had to meet the demand. And nowadays, a lot of persons glorify that, I work in Sunday to Sunday, no days off. I wanna reach this goal. So what do you say to persons who are like that?
Don't. Always take the time to reflect. Always take the time to invest in you. The same amount of energy that you would put into a project or into someone else or into another situation or scenario. Make sure that you take care of yourself first, because you can't be what you need to be for other people if you're not taking care of yourself. I don't believe in glorifying struggle.
That's a word.
I don't believe in glorifying struggle, because that's pretty much what it is. If you're working from sun up to sun up, that's struggle. That's sacrifice. And life shouldn't be lived that way. We should be able to enjoy the moments and be able to pick up when something's changed or when something's different. But if you're so busy with your head down, when are you able to look up and eat piece of guava duff? When are you going to be able to sit back and enjoy time with your kids? You're so busy hustling for them that you ain't spending that time.
That's it.
And yes, it's a sacrifice, but that's a huge price to pay. Focus on you.
Focus on you. All right. Well, this takes intention. So this takes us into our next segment with boundaries.
Because I grew up very, very traditional. And so everything was by the book. Everything was black and white.
Yeah.
And so sometimes it's difficult to get them to tap into what it is, especially with you being a peculiar person. And I always considered myself a unicorn. I was always the black sheep.
Yeah.
And as the oldest child, a lot of responsibility was placed on me. And so the expectations were high. And because I was so different and so out of the box, it was difficult to connect with family.
Mm-hmm.
It was difficult to connect on a more intimate level with my family, and so they weren't able to see where I saw, because I was one that always looked beyond my nose. And so they just weren't grasping it, and so the support just wasn't there. And with me going and doing and moving and now becoming what I've become, and it getting so far, and my name being spread far and wide, they now see, oh, this is what she was trying to do.
Yeah.
And so now the support is more there. I mean, they're not there in the flesh. My family is they're very, like I said, we're an introverted people. Like, we stay to ourselves. We stay within our little circle, our little, our little bubble.
Yeah.
And so you won't see them out there.
Yeah.
But they support in many other different ways. They make sure my baby girl in order when I can't be in place for her.
Yeah.
And that's really the number one support for me. As long as, because my baby girl, she don't like to come out there. She has a thing with crowds and big people and like large amounts of people in one area. And so she is not too particular in being there, but she is always excited to hear what happened. How did it go? Or if she can watch it or see a clip somewhere, she's happy for that. But a lot of times she doesn't even want people to know I saw at all. Not that she's embarrassed, but she finds that it's difficult to make genuine friends when people know who you're connected to. Like, she is very, very intelligent for her age. And she realizes, Mommy, I want genuine friends. And I realize that people aren't real, they're fake. People are fake.
And so, have my nails, but I clock on it.
Yeah. She said, Mommy, people are fake. And like, when people know who you are, they want to like just be all around me and be up under me. But then they ain't real because they wear it. And so they're very private into themselves, but they support more or less behind the scenes now, because they understand. And I think for them, they have to see in order to get the picture. And it took time for me to show them that, because again, it was a journey, it was a process. And so now that they see and watched me go through all of the motions to get to where I am now, they sort of grasp what it was that I was trying to do, and they fully support it now. But it was hard in the beginning because you're literally by yourself.
I love how you spoke about how it's a journey, it's a process, and I love that you have the support that you need now. So very happy for you. So with this being a journey, and now that you're at the point of your journey now where you have young girls, young ladies, performers who are looking at you, looking at what you're doing, and like, man, wow, I want to be like her. So what do you say to these young ladies, these up-and-coming artists who are about to step into their power without losing themselves? How do they do that?
I was just going to say, and I love that you used the term without losing themselves. Do not try to be me. Study technique, get the foundation, learn the business, get your money, always have that in order. You understand? Learn the business, but always be true to yourself and do what comes natural to you. Take what you've learned, whatever it may be, whatever you would have studied, even if it was the way that I did a particular riff or run, or the way I implement background vocals in my shows. Like, you could do that too, but take it and make it your own. Make it indigenous to you. Find your own signature, because you want to be able to be set apart. I find that with artistry and with creativity, sometimes, people, you find a lot of people do it because not so much that it's their gift or their path, but more so, oh, I like the attention. I like the clout. I like, people running behind me, and or who I is. I'm not that kind of a person. And they're not in for the right reasons. At least coming from me, who really understand what it takes to do what needs to be done.
Yes.
And so you find that there's a lot of mimicry. There's a lot of idolization and a lot of repetition and regurgitation of what's already there. Because it worked for them, it could work for me. But that's not the case, because you're not me. You're not me. And that extra little sprinkle of something that you hoping to produce, it's not going to happen because that comes from within me. So you may be doing the same riffs and runs. You may be even mimicking the dances or the way I present my energy. But at the same time, it's not hitting where it needs to hit. Why? Because it's not coming from where it generated from. It's not coming from the source. You have a playlist, you have a map, but you don't have the blueprint.
That's a quote right there. Okay.
You see what I'm saying?
Okay.
And so I always strive to tell persons, because I do mentor. I do mentor young people. I work with schools. I've worked with some schools. I've worked with some high school bands. And I've mentored a lot of kids over the years. And I always tell them, find what it is that you're good at, master that, but also pay attention to your shortcomings and where and your weaknesses, and work on those as well. But take it one day at a time and give yourself grace.
Give yourself grace. I think that's such a hard thing for a lot of persons to do. I mean, I find it hard myself to give myself grace. It's fine. I can do so much better. I could. Why you still focusing on this? Still in this start. So to simply say, give yourself grace. It is harder than
it's a struggle. It's a struggle even for me now, because I've left the stage in tears, feeling like that's the worst show in the world. Time I left the crowd, jumping up and down, screaming and applauding,
freaking themselves.
You see what I'm saying? And I felt like that was the worst I have ever done. Like that was horrible. You know, but I'm on the inside looking at it. We're our own worst critics. And I have learned to give myself grace and also to pat myself on the back. Yeah, girl, you did that. Yeah. You did that, because people will come to be like, girl, you did so good. And I'd be like, I appreciate that. Really? You think so? And they'd be like, girl, like, you really don't give yourself the credit you do deserve. Give yourself that credit. Be obnoxious. Be cocky.
That's it.
Yeah,
that's you. That's, girl, you are Nishie L.S. Come on now.
Look at
you.
Exactly.
See?
And
we caught him on camera. We caught him on camera.
That's what it is. That's what it is right there. And it's hard. It's hard because, again, I've always been, one that's been in the background for so long. And so now embracing what comes with being in the forefront is still an adjustment process for me. Nishie is only 5 years old. Soon to be 6.
That's crazy. Wow. I feel like I know Nishie all my life. Wow.
You know Anishka.
You
know Anishka.
Correction.
You know Anishka all these years. Because Anishka is a veteran in this thing.
Yes, ma'am.
But Nishie is just a baby.
Just a baby. So now when persons look at you and they say, man, you are so successful. Look at you. You're this giant of a performer, giant of an artist, a Bahamian icon in the making. What does success mean to you?
First of all, I don't feel like I am where I need to be yet. When I can take that government uniform off permanently, that's when I feel like I've gotten to where I need to be. But for right now, again, giving myself grace. What does success mean to me? It's humbling. It means that my hard work, my tears, my sweat, the time that I would have invested, it was all worth it. And I could tell you, during that journey, I didn't know if it was going to turn out the way it did. When I released Loose Me, that was during a time when we didn't know if we was going to see a stage again. The world was very unsure as to what direction it was going to go into, because everyone was still unsure about what was happening as far as the disease itself. And so for me, I didn't think anything of it. I just threw it out there, and that was that. You see what I'm saying? And wherever it ended up, and not knowing that it would have ended up being the beginning of a legacy being built. go. I don't want to be inside no more. Light up, loose me, let me go. This is killing me, that's for sure. So do what? Being built. And so for me, I'm just grateful, and I remain humble through it all because there's still a whole lot more to be done. Mm-hmm. There's still a whole lot more to be done, but I am so proud of myself. Mm-hmm. I'm proud of me, mate. Mm-hmm. I'm proud of me because I don't know where it all came from, and I could say it only had to be God. The ideas I came up with, like, it literally would come to me in my sleep. A lot of the music that I've released literally came to me in my sleep. Mm-hmm. And I remember a quote where Michael Jackson had said, because during that era, you had like a little rivalry between Michael Jackson and Prince. Yeah, girl, talk. Tell the story. And Michael Jackson said, whenever any inspiration or anything came to him in his sleep, he used to be like, boy, let me get up and go to the studio and use this before God take it and give it to Prince. Mm-hmm. And I always thought about that, and I was like, get up. So I would get up. If you go through this phone right now, thank God for the cloud. If you go through my cloud right now, through my voice recordings, all you hear is listen, all kind of humming. I'm a half sleep, baby in my eye dribbling, and I humming into my phone because I trying to stay sleep with stick. Because the minute you up everything that in you it's gone, and it's gone forever. There's times when I woke up and I say, I can remember what it was that I dreamed because that was just too good and it was too clear. Gone. Never to be seen again. Forever. Forever. Oh, but let me give you an example. Let me give you an example. I just did an intro. I added an intro for one of my shows because I'm incorporating bringing old school music into Bahamian shows through like intros and outros and all of these different things. Mm-hmm. And I picked up a song. It was a song from Stevie Wonder. Which one? As Until always, girl. Right. So I did, that came to me in my sleep. And I just got up and I went into my vocal studio and I started recording it in parts, right? And then I added the saw to it, and then I sent it to a good friend of mine, and he added some extra stuff to it, and it magnificent piece for an intro. I took it to Shad. Shout out Shad Colley. Period. Shout out Sky High Productions. Okay. I took it to him to clean up for me so I can incorporate it in my show with my stems through my stems engineer. And when I played it for him, he was like, well, mother sick. Nishie, you beat me to it. Nishie, you beat me to it. I literally wanted to do this and add this song to one of our shows as an intro or outro for Shad Colley and the VIPs. He said, Nishie, you beat me to it, and I gotta go pick another song. Ouch. So right now, that came to him first. He sleep on it, and God sent it to me. That's it. And so, like, that's the perfect example of, and that like solidified that belief for me. And I'm like, boy, this shit true. This true. Yeah. This is true. And so, child, don't sleep on the dream. No, you can't sleep. When God send you that right here, wake up, jump up on that, write that down, and don't go back to sleep. With it. Don't play with it. Don't go back to sleep. That's it right there. That's it right there. Wow. So we talked about a lot of things today. We talked about a lot of things, but I want to know. It's my burning question. Take away the stages, right? The mics, the performance, the fame, the success. Would Anishka do it all over again? Absolutely. Absolutely. Why? Because it's worth it. Because I can't sleep unless I do it. I get no peace unless it's done. Do you know how many times I said that I'm not gonna do this anymore because it's too stressful? This one then screw me over, that one then mess me up, this one then throw me under the bridge and leave me to fend for myself. I am done. And I go to bed and God don't give me peace. When souls like sea billows roll. Oh, my Lord, thou hast told me to say, I would absolutely do it again. But the only thing I would hope or wish for is that I had the knowledge that I have now at the beginning. Because then I would know what not to do, what mistakes not to make, and I wouldn't have wasted so much time. Like, that's my biggest regret. I feel like now, I mean, everything builds up to a time and everything in its time and season. Because sometimes we feel like, oh, I could do this a long time, but, you know, God showing you wasn't ready yet. You know, it wasn't time for you to break through that yet, because I still had this for you to deal with first. And you had to learn this particular lesson, and you had to, and I had to groom this particular person to place in your path at this particular time, and they weren't ready yet. You see what I'm saying? So it's like a domino effect. It's almost like a buildup to where you, in order for this to happen, that had to happen, and that had to happen, and that had to happen. And so I just wish then that I had the knowledge. And my biggest regret is wasting time. But at the same time, I'm glad that it happened when it did.
If you didn't make those mistakes, and if you didn't slunk when you did slunk, who knows where you would have been today?
Exactly.
Please thank God for his divine timing.
Listen, and it's definitely not our timing, because if I had known then what I know now.
Yeah.
Hey.
Yeah. Yeah. You wouldn't even got to say much after that.
Listen to me.
Yeah, well, guys, this has been The Porch. And if you're seeing smoke on your screens, it might be for two reasons. One, Nishie hot and she on fire and she put the teachers how to do the boogie roll. Or it's a lot of mosquitoes on this porch. If you just had to like keep all the mosquito curls. Two things can be true at the same time. But anyway, hold on. Let's see if she can teach us how to do the boogie roll for real. Anyway, we can see her very, very soon. This has been The Porch.